This is Welton Gaddy with State of Belief Radio at the Democratic National Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. On State of Belief, a few weeks ago, we heard from Reverend Derrick Harkins, and so we know about you and your faithfulness as a pastor. I know you as a good friend. How's the convention going?
The convention is going tremendously well. Tremendous enthusiasm and energy, not only in the hall and on the floor, but throughout all of those who were gathered in Charlotte. But I think most importantly, what people saw and heard on the first night of the convention were stories from people whose lives really are the embodiment of the values we hold as a party. We heard from Julian Castro, who just talked in just compelling terms of growing up in meager circumstances, but having as a grounding the prayer and faithfulness of his mother and his grandmother. What an incredible story to celebrate when we talk about really celebrating what the real America is like. Yeah. And of course we heard from the First Lady, who spoke from her heart in just a tremendous and compelling way. And I think all of that goes to the point that we've got much more than just policies and talking points to stand on, but we've got the real heart and passion of Americans that we're speaking to.
You know, Derrick, I thought the First Lady did surgery with a feather. She was brilliant. Listen, let me ask you a pastoral question. Sure. The faith events, the prayer meetings, so forth. How do you incorporate that into the political agenda?
That's a great question. One of the things I must say is this convention has more official faith-related events than any Democratic convention previously. We meet every morning for prayer and reflection on, again, these values themes that I've been talking about. We've gathered for 2 significant sessions around issues of faith in our Faith Council session. So it's a very substantive commitment to talking about the engagement of faith in our process. And one of the things that I'm so pleased about is that I hear from our members, our convention delegates and others, of how they understand the applicability of the broad and rich spectrum of faith in America. That's the other thing, too. It gives us a chance to celebrate. We have every major faith tradition is represented in our panels, in our presenters. We celebrate the fact that we're a party that has that measure of inclusiveness in it. And I think that's, again, an affirmation of what we know to be the best of America.
How do you keep from getting the assumption that we are so right and God blessed that the others are wrong?
You know, one of the greatest things that comes out of all this discussion is a real sense of I'll say, compassion and understanding for the fact that other people may have perspectives and they may have sets of values that are in conflict with our own, but the best way to engage is to engage with civility, to engage with a measure of understanding that there's the space for disagreement, and then at the same time to do our best to embody what we see to be those values. So I think you're hearing that. You're not hearing a demonization of the other side. Significant contrast are drawn, yes, but not a demonization. Nobody is saying that you're not a godly person if you vote for the other side, which may not be the case in reverse. So I think that's an important distinction and an important aspect of who we are as a convention, as a party.
In one sentence or so, what do you want to see happen between the 2 candidates between now and Election Day?
I want both candidates to have the full and open opportunity to share with the American public the full and sincere depth of who they are by way, again, of the values that define them and motivate them. The First Lady said last night that the presidency does not change you. The presidency really shows who you are. And I think that one of the things that I would ask is that we see the real Mitt Romney. We see, I believe we continue to see the real Barack Obama. And then the American public has the privilege of making a determination based on the core convictions and values of these 2 men. I think if that can happen, whether it's in the debates and whether it's in some measure of the campaign, then we've succeeded in this election cycle.
And you know what? I think if we can do what you just said, we also will make a huge contribution to our democracy.
Absolutely.
I'm Welton Gaddy. This is State of Belief Radio. Listen.